Hey guys, I'm here with my business partner, Brad Moore, and we're gonna talk a little real estate today. So Brad, I'm interested to know, tell me and everybody else a little bit more about your story and maybe start with how you got into real estate and why real estate.
Yeah, sure. So my real estate journey started back in 2009. So I was a senior at Westchester University and just getting ready to graduate. And I always had an interest in like the real estate investing part. My parents at the time owned a Ace Hardware store in the area for 24 years, and then they recently sold it just about a year before that. And I was still there, but I was in search of like what was next. And the real estate investing part always really interested me. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go find out more about, the real estate investing part. And the thing that I knew what I could probably do to educate myself more was to go get my real estate license. So I went to go get my real estate license, take the course, and then after you get done the course and the testing, the next thing to do with your real estate license, I guess if you want to say, like you actually have to go place it somewhere. You have to put it at a brokerage. So I'm like finding out all this stuff, and so then all of a sudden I'm interviewing at different brokerages, and I noticed the different brokerages, anybody will hire you. So kind of joke around and say if you can fog a mirror, you can join a real estate office. So through that search, one of a longtime family friend worked at one of the top producing real estate offices in the area, and he was also a top producer. And I was like, I got to align myself. I'm going to do it. I want to align myself with people that are doing it at a really high level. So I went and joined that office in 2009, and that was the time when everybody was like, getting out of the business. And here I'm going in, and people were asking me, why are you getting into the business? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I don't know any different, and I want to invest in real estate. And then it turns into helping people, and that's what I was always doing when I was working at my parents' business. So it was a nice family business that we had, and I was just always wanting to help people. So and I always enjoyed helping people through the through the purchasing process. So like I always loved selling and helping people get the right product though, and not just buying anything. So I always wanted to make sure people were purchasing the right thing, and they were happy, and it was just an overall really good experience. So that's where I wanted to translate it into real estate. And in order to be successful in real estate, you have to sell real estate too, at some point, if you want to do that. Mm-hmm. In addition to investing. So then I got into the selling part of it.
Right. So you started out with the mindset of I'm going to be an investor. I want to learn more about real estate, and then you get into real estate. And tell us a little bit more about that. So you started selling, and knowing your history a little bit, like you really started to excel in sales, and that started to, I think, maybe be the forefront. So like, tell us more about what did that look like? How did your sales career then evolve? Because obviously, now we have a real estate team, and what did that look like for you?
Sure, yeah. So like when I, back in, I think it was 2010, so I was in the business for just about a year, coming up on a year. Or maybe it was just over a year, but there was a point where I was like 1 foot out. Like I almost was just going to like throw in the towel and not do it, just because like when you get into the real estate, like when I got in the real estate business, there wasn't like too much guidance as far as like how to do it, what to do and all that kind of stuff. And that's when I started really opening, thinking outside the box. I'm like, what is it that I need to do? And one of the key turning points, I feel like, to my real estate career and also personal development is I got into coaching, got into business coaching. And since that point, everything's changed. So I've been in the coaching world as far as having a professional coach for the last 10 years. and that's really made a huge impact on the overall, I would say my overall growth, both in personal and business.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with regard to maybe a map or an outline of your, your real estate portfolio and getting coached around that, what did that look like for you? What was that path like?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to get into real estate investing. So one of the things in the beginning, was just like being able to purchase like my first home, because I knew that was like one of the key stepping points, is just like first, purchasing my own home and then going from there. And that was an interesting process too, just purchasing my first home, because being an independent contractor, you needed a couple years of tax returns at average. So when you're just starting out, it's not, the averages aren't always that good. So it took a couple years to get there. And then when I got approved for my mortgage, for my first home, we got to a week before settlement. And, here the financing wasn't approved because the lender on the other side didn't put it under the right program. And I had to go to settlement that following week. So I had to raise cash in order to settle on the home. So, I had to go, I had to use my own personal assets. I had to go to family, I had to go to friends in order to be able to come up with the liquidity to purchase the home. And so that was like a first like real eye-opening experience as far as like how to raise money to buy real estate, leveraging other people's assets. And then once I got that whole thing stabilized, my home, and did the renovations and all that kind of stuff, then and a few years later, purchased my first investment property, and then I've been on track to purchase one every year. Yeah,
that's great. That's great. And not only did you purchase your home, right? Like you completely renovated it top to bottom. It wasn't like the average first home I think that somebody buys. So you went into it, I think, with a lot of like an open mind and a lot of thick skin, I guess maybe some people would say. So for people who are interested maybe in getting into investing, in real estate investing, are there a couple things that you might tell them or suggest to them, having been through, this process several times now?
Yeah, at the time, like that, I listen to Bigger Pockets a lot now, but at the time there wasn't Bigger Pockets, and it was just kind of interesting, like everything that Bigger Pockets talks about with the Burr method and different investing strategies. I actually just happened to be doing those, not knowing that I was doing these methods. But I would say like that would probably be like the first place to start, is just like starting to educate yourself. I also do a lot of reading too, as far as on investing, and but just start listening to podcasts, reading books, and then talking to people that have already done it.
Yeah.
I think that's also a key indicator, as far as like you can get some really good firsthand knowledge from people that have done it. Absolutely.
So how do you look at real estate investing? What does it do for you? What does it do for your family? You talked about being, a husband, a son, a father soon, all of those things. So what does that all kind of look like together holistically?
Yes, I think the thing that I love about real estate investing is it provides cash flow. So you have an asset, so you're able to build that over time. And you have other people paying down the debt, so the mortgage. So it's providing passive income. And if you pay attention to like a lot of the people that are very successful within the real estate world, they're investors, and they're building their portfolios, and the cash flow is an important piece to it, but also gives you leverage to do a lot of other things too, from using lines against your property to buy other pieces of property. So it's just a really cool tool. So my biggest thing is like when I'm looking at real estate, like a lot of people talk about you're either in stocks or you're in real estate. I think there is probably a blend, but for me, I'm in real estate, and that's really what I love to do, and I have a lot of passion around it because everybody needs to live somewhere. People are always in different positions where they need to rent, and then there's people that have the ability to purchase. So I love being able to help the people that are in the renting situation and providing them a really nice property and home that I would personally live in. And then also, when they're ready to buy, we can help them purchase too. So it's cool to just be a part of like the whole process.
Yeah, holistic process.
Yeah.
And so just to kind of round that out, and knowing you, for the past however many years now, you talked a lot, you used the word help a lot when you were just describing what you do. I think naturally that kind of comes to you, and that's what you're about. You're about helping people. And I think leadership is an amazing way to help people as well, and you are a very natural leader. So I'd love to hear more about what that looks like for you as far as where you see your leadership going, and same question, what's next?
Yeah, so I think what we've been able to put together, I think the one thing that has been really cool to see is just how we've been able to partner up on a business level and really expand things. Because the one thing I see is like, you can't, I've always thought like you can't be one person and do everything. So I think, when we were going through the process of partnering up, and we didn't just say like, hey, let's partner. I mean, it was kind of like that, but then there was like, okay, well, how do we make sure we're good partners? And then there was a whole process that we went through after that.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that was like so cool with that is that we identified each other's, strengths, which are different. And we were like, you know what, like, let's give this a go. Like, we want to like make a difference. We want to help people that, our clients, but really like our team members, like, we want to help them, give them a really good experience within the real estate business too, where they feel balanced, they feel, success, they're empowered, they're growing, and we're just kind of helping lead the way to, for them on that end. So I think for like what's next, is to continue like growth. So continue to just absorb, the information on leadership, continue to help grow the team, our team members who are awesome, just really helping grow them, empower them. And at the same time, I want to continue to grow, my real estate portfolio too. That's one thing that's, I would say between the business, the real estate portfolio, those are two things I really, want to keep after.
Awesome.